Hello. The reason I'm not wearing my tuxedo top, which I do for these types of videos, is because I originally filmed an interview, which is kind of where I wanted this segment to go to, interviewing people who I find inspiring on this YouTube sphere, etc. But the person I interviewed last minute hit me up and they were like, dude, I don't want that video out there. I felt like I said a lot of things that made me look bad. And you know what? I gotta respect that, but that just kind of leaves me scrambling for ideas. And luckily, I had this idea kind of tucked away and been like, oh, how am I gonna script this video? And I was like, you know what? It's better to start and just do something even if you don't have it perfect. So I don't have the idea perfectly constructed, but I do have the topic and I think it's interesting enough to make a video of its own. And I have a lot of footage to show that I do want to show at the end of this video of a lot of really talented, good skateboarding. Okay, I'm gonna be in it too, but I'm not trying to talk about myself. I had friends who also skated that you may know, like Zach Gillespie on my Progress Daily channel, etc. We'll be showing that footage at the end. So the idea for this video is to talk about 3 incidences in skateboarding where I did things, or me and my friends did things that would get us in a lot of trouble in 2021. People watching it would be like, what do these skateboarders think they're doing? How do they think they can get away with this? And that's kind of skateboarding in general. We kind of just see it from the outside where we see people street skating, we think it's cool, skate in parks, etc. But you don't know that sometimes skateboarders do some pretty illegal stuff to get in that situation. Have you seen people remove knobs before? That's basically causing like hundreds of dollars worth of damage. People will actually take like bolt cutters and cut bolts of, gates. People have like torn down gates to skate spots, so people do some pretty controversial things. And I'm really glad that I didn't have a YouTube channel back when I was a teenager because, yeah, I did a lot of those things. So we're gonna start with story number 1, and they're gonna get progressively worse. And story number 1, again, don't hold it against me, I was just a kid. No, I don't even care. It was a long time ago, but it's also the type of thing I truly wouldn't do now. But I had this idea that if it was for skating and then someone was trying to get in the way of my skateboarding, then they were the enemy. They were the bad guys, because all we were trying to do was have fun. You don't want us to have fun? That makes you a monster. But the perception of skating was much different then. I think people just thought we were vandalizing for the sake of it. So there was a church that I went to, and at this church, they built a little skate park in the back. They were very inviting of skaters. And then all of a sudden, the pastor at the church told the youth minister, who basically looked over us, that he didn't want skating around the church anymore. He was like, yeah, they're kind of grinding the ledges and they're kind of causing a lot of noise. We don't want them around. And we kind of rebelled, which sucks. But when you get like religion involved and then you get like what's right and wrong and all these things, emotions can get pretty stirred. I hope that made any sense. So the church invested in buying I think it was a couple $100, like $500, worth of no skateboarding signs that they put all around the church. They put them on posts, etc., etc. Now, truthfully, I wasn't a part. Okay, I was a little part of this because I did some of this too. My friends and I removed the signs and then threw them in a lake. Okay, so I wasn't a part of the first purge, but I was a part of the second, where I went around and I literally unscrewed these signs. I just took them to my house, and I used them for cracks later in the future, like an extra fudge you being like, bro, I'm gonna use this sign and use it to make a skate spot, and you didn't even want me to skate in your place. So that is thing number 1, where I'm sure if I put that on YouTube today, where I was like, hey guys, I'm removing all these signs that this church invested in to keep us off their property. But now, if we skate on their property and the cops come, we can just say, well, they didn't have signs to begin with because we stole them. Anyways, just thought that was a funny story that a lot of skaters are probably like, yeah, so. But I'm sure that anyone who doesn't skate is like, whoa, that sounds super illegal. So that's story number 1. Story number 2 gets, I would say, progressively a little worse, but at the same time, I did get to build 3 skate spots in my hometown because I was like the most driven dude. And I was like, I'm gonna make these skate spots skateable one way or another. So I took it on my own to go out at 1 in the morning one night, and I bought 3 things of angle iron, and I made 3 skate spots with this angle iron. So, of course, if you're a business and you have like a curb or a ledge or some part of the business, you don't want people super gluing metal to your ledges to where you basically can't remove it unless you use a sledgehammer. And even after you do that, there's gonna be remnants of the glue on your ledge, and you might break your ledge using a sledgehammer to remove these rails. But I was like, you know what? That's okay, because I'm a young skater kid who doesn't understand how the world works, and I'm going to do things that I shouldn't do. and that's what I did. So one night I went out, and you can see right here the 3 skate spots that I put together. We skated them anyways, and we skated them a lot, but I was like, they'll be much easier if I put metal on them. Ironically, a lot of skaters themselves got mad about it because they're like, dude, they were perfectly good spots, and now you're putting metal on them when on footage it's not gonna look as cool and street and authentic. And I was like, whoops. But at the same time, I felt like I was the only one really skating consistently in Columbia, so I was like, well, fudge it, dude. I can just do what I want. So I made these spots, and eventually all the metal on the ledges did fall off. I think the companies actually did take the time to remove them, and it actually doesn't look so bad. But yeah, all those spots were gone, but honestly, I was like, dude, I'm trying to make Columbia as skatable as possible, and I want it to be a destination for people all over to come and check out. So that's something that I think a lot of people would have watched today and been like, no, dude, do not do that. So number 3, this last one, this is like the absolute one that like, I'm even scared to bring up today a little bit, but you gotta keep in mind, dumb kid doing what he does, and I don't recommend anyone do anything like this. So this one happened at about 3 a.m. There was a skate spot, it was this perfect 8 stair, as you can see here, and I skated it all the time, and it was so fun, and I loved it. And then out of nowhere, they skate stopped it. And it was the most aggressive type of skate stopper because they put a bike rack in front of it. Now the bike rack was about 5 feet in front of it. And actually, if you went fast enough, you could clear over the whole thing. So realistically, they built us a cooler skate spot that other people from other places could come and visit and do really cool tricks on. And actually today, they put another bike stop there. So you could probably see where this story is going. At 4 a.m., I went there with a minivan that I borrowed, and I took out the bike rack, like I unscrewed it from the ground. I don't know how much these things cost. I just took it out of the ground, put it in my van. Now, while I was doing this, that late at 4 a.m., I was wearing all black and a skeleton mask. And that's so insane. I bet I looked insane to like the cameras, because I figured they had cameras and I wanted to hide my identity. While I was doing it, a car pulls up. Now imagine at 4 a.m., a car pulling up on you while you have a skeleton mask on, doing something illegal. And I hear, John? Somehow, this car recognized me because I think they knew immediately that it was a skater. They probably saw my shoes, saw what I was doing, and thought, only a skater would do this. And it was a friend of mine. And it was him and his girlfriend. I don't know what they were doing at 4 a.m. out and about, but he was like, dude, do you need help? So he just walks over there, and him and his girlfriend helped me carry this bike rack, put it in my van. I took off, and I'm pretty sure that bike rack today lives like at my parents' house or something, but yeah, not very cool. You know, obviously a business like that in my mind as a kid, and as an adult, I understand that the bike rack probably didn't like, it's a big, large corporate company. I'm sure the bike rack it's not gonna make or break their business, but what they were trying to do is the opposite of what I gave to them. Like they were trying to prevent skateboarders, and then I'm like, nope, took it out. And we started skating again. And ironically, the same thing happened in the skate scene, where when I went to the skate shop a little bit later on, someone got mad at me, again, a skateboarder. He was like, dude, it was way cooler with the bike rack there, and you just ruined that. And he was like, I don't think you're allowed to be the one who does that, right? He thought it was like narcissistic for me to be like, I'm gonna fix this spot. But nobody was skating it. Like nobody skated the 8 stair originally. Nobody skated this new gap except for me. So I was like, well, if I'm the only one skating it, then who cares? I'll just fix it. I understand now in hindsight that like, you know, now that we have a bike rack there and crews come into Columbia, people actually skate that and do like crazy tricks over this thing. But yeah, that's definitely the worst thing I think I've done, where super illegal, and on YouTube, I'm sure people would have been like, you're canceled, which yeah, that makes total sense. So I do want to end this video with showing a lot of those sessions and a lot of that fun that we had with those spots after I worked on them or fixed them. And yeah, I'm sorry that this wasn't the interview that I was hoping to put out there today. But again, in the future with these videos, I do hope to always have some kind of interaction with a friend, some kind of conversation that I think will be really fun for anyone out there who wants to listen to can listen to. But I think it'd be a great way for me to also like network with bigger creators who do cool things, because skateboarding is really fun. But the world of skateboarding on YouTube, I feel like especially recently, has become like very dramatic and tense. Like I feel like I've kind of got caught up in this like tense, toxic culture of skating, and I didn't want to, I didn't mean to. So that's why I like to tell stories of like the past like this, where it's like, nah, skateboarding, like to me, it's a much different world. I came from a much different version of skating that exists on YouTube. We were very much like vigilantes, like, you know, doing things we weren't allowed to do, like in the streets in a very, very small town that nobody ever cared about or will probably ever care about. And it felt, you know, it feels cool to think about it then. Obviously, life is much more fun now with a YouTube channel and then having, you know, some sense of credibility, because I think I need that as a human, because I feel like I'd just be let loose and just, you know, do a lot of crazy things that I probably shouldn't do, and maybe go to jail. And I don't want to do that, because that's happened before with skating. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Enjoy the footage that I'm about to show after this video. You've probably seen a lot of the skating already, but, you know, I wanted a fun montage with, you know, that makes you happy and able to go skate and pumped and juiced and stuff. All right, thanks for watching. Take care, progress daily, and what? Keep killing it.
Oh my God! Nollie back 180 real quick, no foot setup, and then fake a heel down the steps. Yeah, it was perfect.